It began with an eerie silence, on a serene farm in the lush heart of northern Thailand, where life seemed to flow as calmly as the nearby streams. A horrifying secret lay buried. Beneath the soft soil of a duck pen, two lives, a British millionaire and his Thai wife, were brutally extinguished and concealed. The idyllic calm of the countryside had been shattered by an act of unthinkable betrayal. What makes this crime even more chilling? The mastermind behind it all was someone they loved and trusted, a family member who turned their haven of dreams into a graveyard of nightmares. On September 23, 2018, authorities uncovered the bodies of Alan Hogg and Nad Sudan on their sprawling estate in Phrae Province. Their disappearance just days earlier on September 18 had already sparked concern among friends and family. The shocking discovery of their gravesite, mere meters from their home, turned the peaceful community into a scene of disbelief and horror. This story goes beyond the gruesome details of the crime itself. It's about the devastating betrayal at the heart of it all. It reveals how greed, envy, and deep-seated resentment can fester within the bonds of family, culminating in a tragedy that no one saw coming. As we unfold the twists and turns of the investigation, prepare to question the very essence of trust and loyalty. Before we dive deeper into this chilling saga, make sure to subscribe to our channel. You won't want to miss a single detail as we unravel the shocking truth of how love and trust turned into hatred and murder. Subscribe now and join us on this journey into the darkness hidden behind a serene facade. Phrae Province, nestled in northern Thailand, is a place where time seems to slow down. Known for its lush greenery, ancient teak forests, and the gentle rhythm of rural life, it's a sanctuary that offers solace to those seeking a reprieve from the chaos of the modern world. The landscape is dotted with sprawling farms, serene temples, and traditional wooden homes, evoking a sense of harmony and simplicity. Visitors are drawn to its picturesque beauty, the gentle hum of nature, and the unspoken promise of peace. Yet, beneath this tranquil facade, the story of Alan Hogg and Nad Sudan would reveal that even the most idyllic settings can harbor darkness. Their farm, a sprawling 32-acre estate complete with fruit orchards, duck pens, and fish ponds, embodied the couple's dream of a life intertwined with nature. It was here, in the heart of this peaceful countryside, that the seeds of betrayal and murder were sown. A grim reminder that evil often hides in plain sight. Alan Hogg, originally from Edinburgh, Scotland, was a man known for his ambition, kindness, and entrepreneurial spirit. A successful engineer and businessman, Alan had spent much of his life building a career that afforded him the freedom to travel and explore the world. It was during one such trip to Thailand that he met Nad Sudan, a warm and compassionate woman whose driven personality, their love story, was the stuff of dreams. Two people from different worlds brought together by fate, building a life that merged their cultures and aspirations. After marrying, Alan and Nad decided to settle in Thailand, drawn to the serene beauty of Phrae Province. They transformed their sprawling property into a haven, complete with a 3-story villa, a swimming pool, and a thriving farm. The couple became well known in the community, not only for their wealth, but also for their generosity. Alan was respected as a fair employer and a thoughtful neighbor, while Nad's dedication to her family, including her care for her disabled younger brother, earned her admiration from those around her. Together they ran various businesses, from a restaurant to a laundry service, before dedicating themselves to farming. Their estate became a symbol of their shared vision, a place where hard work and love could create something extraordinary. But their idyllic life was not without challenges. Beneath the surface of their outward success, tensions brewed within their extended family, tensions that would eventually lead to unimaginable tragedy. At the center of this tragedy was Warut Sachit, Nad's older brother. On the surface, Warut appeared to be the epitome of a kind-hearted, family-oriented man. He was known for his frequent visits to the local temple, where he participated in community events and earned the trust and respect of those around him. To the villagers, Warut was a man of simple needs, content with his modest wooden home and his role within the family's farming operations. However, behind this facade was a man grappling with resentment and envy. Despite living on the estate and working closely with Alan and Nod for over 2 decades, Warut felt overshadowed and undervalued. While his younger sister and her husband enjoyed the comforts of their luxurious villa, Warut lived in relative simplicity, fueling a growing sense of injustice. His relationship with Alan was strained, often marked by disagreements over farm management. Alan's meticulous nature and high standards clashed with Warut's more laid-back approach, creating a rift that deepened with time. To outsiders, Warut's devotion to his family seemed unwavering, but within the confines of the estate, his discontent was palpable. When Alan and Nod decided to confront Warut about his work ethic and eventually asked him to leave the farm, it was a blow he could not accept. Feeling betrayed by his sister and disrespected by his brother-in-law, Warut's simmering resentment turned into a dangerous rage. In the days leading up to the murder, Warut's demeanor began to shift. Friends and neighbors noticed subtle changes, a quiet withdrawal, an undercurrent of tension in his interactions. Still, no one could have predicted the lengths he would go to exact his revenge. To the people of Frey, the idea that Warut, a man they knew and trusted, could commit such a heinous act was inconceivable. And yet, as the story unfolded, it became clear that his outward kindness was a mask, hiding the dark and vengeful intentions that would forever change the lives of those around him. This backdrop of serene landscapes, loving relationships, and hidden tensions sets the stage for one of the most shocking crimes in the region's history. A tale of love, betrayal, and the devastating consequences of unchecked resentment. It began innocuously enough, a missed social engagement. On the evening of September 19, 2018, Alan Hogg and his wife Nod Sudan were expected to meet friends in Chiang Mai, a gathering they had confirmed weeks in advance. Known for their reliability, Alan and Nod's absence raised immediate concerns. Phone calls went unanswered, a stark deviation from Alan's punctual and meticulous nature. Days passed, and the growing silence turned from puzzling to alarming. On September 23rd, one of the couple's close friends decided to take matters into their own hands. Traveling to the Hogg estate in Frey province, they hoped to find an explanation. Perhaps illness or an emergency had kept the couple from communicating. However, what greeted them was far more unsettling. The sprawling property, usually vibrant with life, was eerily quiet. The couple's belongings and even Alan's phone, still plugged in and charging, remained untouched. It was as if they had vanished without a trace. What struck the friend most was the absence of the couple's newly purchased white Ford Ranger pickup truck. But it wasn't until they noticed bloodstains in the dressing room that the gravity of the situation became undeniable. Panicked, the friend contacted the local police, sparking an investigation that would unearth the chilling truth. The police arrived and began combing through the vast 32-acre property. The estate, with its orchards, duck pens, and fish ponds, offered countless places to hide evidence, or worse, bodies. It wasn't long before a patch of freshly disturbed soil near a duck pond drew the investigators' attention. This patch, out of place amidst the otherwise pristine grounds, led the authorities to deploy sniffer dogs. The dogs' reaction was immediate and unmistakable. They had found something. With an excavator brought to the scene, the police began digging. Hours later, the bodies of Alan and Nod were unearthed, buried 2 meters deep beneath the orchard soil. Their remains, hastily concealed, told a horrifying story. Forensic analysis later revealed the couple's cause of death. Alan had been shot twice, while Nod suffered a brutal attack with a wrench. The approximate time of death was determined to be September 18th, just a day before their scheduled meeting in Chiang Mai. The gruesome discovery sent shockwaves through the community. The once serene Haga estate was now a crime scene, the tranquility of its landscape shattered by the stark reality of murder. Investigators were left with a grim question: who could commit such a heinous act against a couple so beloved by their friends, neighbors, and family? The couple's friends and neighbors played a critical role in unraveling the mystery. Alan and Nod's absence was first noted by their close social circle, who had grown increasingly concerned with each passing day. It was their persistence that led to the initial visit to the estate and the discovery of bloodstains, which became the catalyst for police involvement. One neighbor in particular would later provide pivotal information. Sumaut Pamon, a local farmer and acquaintance of Warut Sachit, came forward with a confession that shed new light on the case. Suma revealed that Warut had approached him days before the murder, seeking assistance in killing Alan and Nod. Although Suma claimed to have refused to participate directly, he admitted to introducing Warut to two men willing to carry out the act for a price. This testimony not only implicated Warut as the mastermind, but also identified the hired accomplices who aided in the crime. Si Jad, the person said, exercising to control the tribe, which the person kept up. The combination of circumstantial evidence, forensic findings, and witness testimonies painted a damning picture of what had transpired. Alan and No's disappearance, initially shrouded in mystery, was now tied to a betrayal so profound it shocked even the investigators. The once unassuming brother-in-law, Warut Sachit, was no longer just a family member. He was a prime suspect in a murder that would haunt the community for years to come. When the Thai police were first called to the Haga estate on September 23, 2018, they were met with an eerie silence and scattered clues. The bloodstains discovered in the dressing room hinted at foul play, but the absence of Alan and Nod complicated the situation. Their belongings suggested they hadn't left voluntarily. Phones remained plugged in, luggage was untouched, and their clothes hung in place. These signs pointed to a sudden and violent disruption of their lives. Recognizing the vastness of the 32-acre property, authorities dispatched additional officers to comb the estate. The search led them to the orchard near the duck pen, where an unusual patch of recently disturbed soil drew their attention. Sniffer dogs confirmed the suspicion, barking incessantly at the site. After hours of excavation, the grim reality was uncovered. The bodies of Alan and Nod, buried 2 meters deep, were unearthed. Their deaths, determined to have occurred on September 18th, were confirmed as murder. This discovery transformed the Haga estate into a crime scene, and the hunt for the perpetrator began. The case took a significant turn when investigators reviewed CCTV footage from the estate and surrounding areas. One video revealed a man, later identified as Warut Sachit, driving away in Alan's new white Ford Ranger on the evening of September 18. Warut's casual demeanor stood in stark contrast to the violent events that had unfolded hours earlier, making him an immediate person of interest. The footage not only placed Warut at the scene, but also hinted at his possible involvement in the couple's disappearance. As authorities dug deeper into his background, they uncovered tensions between him and the victims. This led to a manhunt for Warut, who had seemingly vanished from Phrae province. His sudden disappearance and the theft of the pickup truck added weight to the suspicions against him. The stolen vehicle proved to be another critical piece of evidence. Investigators traced its journey through multiple sales, first to a local resident, then to another buyer in Laos, and finally to a man who voluntarily returned it to authorities after hearing about the case. Although the truck's trail helped solidify the timeline of events, it also revealed the lengths to which Warut had gone to cover his tracks. The investigation was fraught with challenges. First, the sheer size of the estate made the initial search painstakingly slow. The property's orchards, ponds, and farmland provided numerous hiding places for evidence and potential clues. Additionally, familial and cultural dynamics added layers of complexity. Warut, as Nod's older brother, was a respected figure in the community. Many locals struggled to reconcile his perceived kindness with the possibility of his involvement in such a heinous crime. This created a reluctance among some to come forward with information, further complicating the investigation. Tracking the stolen vehicle also proved difficult. Its multiple sales not only delayed its recovery, but also muddied the trail of evidence, making it harder for authorities to pinpoint Warut's movements. The discovery of the couple's bodies and the subsequent investigation quickly captured local and international media attention. The involvement of a British national, Alan Hogg, turned the case into a high-profile affair, with reporters scrutinizing every detail. Headlines about the murdered British millionaire spread rapidly, increasing public pressure on law enforcement to deliver swift justice. The media spotlight had a dual effect. On one hand, it galvanized investigators to work tirelessly to solve the case. On the other, it heightened tensions within the community, as locals grappled with the shame of such a crime occurring in their midst. International coverage also brought attention to Thailand's legal and societal systems, prompting discussions about how cases involving foreigners are handled. Despite these pressures, the media coverage played a crucial role in spreading awareness, which ultimately led to tips and testimonies that advanced the investigation. As the pieces began to fall into place, it became clear that this was not just a tale of murder, but a story of betrayal that would leave an indelible mark on the lives it touched. The trial of Warut Sachit and his accomplices unfolded in the Provincial Court of Free in mid-2019, drawing widespread attention from both local and international media. The courtroom was packed with journalists, legal observers, and members of the victim's family, including Alan Hogg's daughter, who had flown in from the UK to witness the proceedings. The atmosphere was tense, punctuated by a palpable sense of grief and outrage from the victim's loved ones. The prosecution presented the case with precision, emphasizing the brutality of the crime and the betrayal at its heart. Prosecutors argued that Warut, fueled by resentment and greed, orchestrated the murders of his sister and brother-in-law to seize control of their assets. They highlighted his meticulous planning, including hiring 2 accomplices and attempting to cover up the crime by burying the bodies and selling the stolen truck. The defense, on the other hand, attempted to portray Warut as a man under immense pressure, citing financial struggles and familial disputes as potential mitigating factors. They sought to downplay his role as the mastermind, suggesting that his accomplices acted independently after a moment of heated argument. However, the reenactment of the crime and Warut's own confession significantly undermined their argument, leaving little room for doubt about his culpability. Dramatic moments peppered the trial, particularly during cross-examinations. Witness testimonies, including that of Suma Utpamun, the neighbor who introduced Warut to the hitmen, added a layer of intrigue and suspense. At one point, a visibly shaken Warut broke down in tears when confronted with photographic evidence of his sister's injuries, though many in the courtroom questioned the sincerity of his remorse. The prosecution's case was built on an overwhelming body of evidence. Forensic analysis played a crucial role, with experts detailing how the victims were killed. Alan had suffered 2 gunshot wounds, while Nod was struck repeatedly with a wrench, consistent with the injuries found during the autopsy. The murder weapon, a wrench, was presented in court alongside forensic reports that confirmed its use in the crime. CCTV footage was another critical piece of evidence. The footage showed Warut calmly driving away in Alan's white Ford Ranger truck, contradicting his earlier claims of innocence. Witness testimonies added weight to the prosecution's case, particularly Suma's account of Warut's approach for assistance in hiring hitmen. The reenactment of the crime, conducted at the Hogg estate under police supervision, was one of the most impactful moments of the trial. During the reenactment, Warut and his accomplices demonstrated how they carried out the murders, a chilling visualization that left the jury and onlookers visibly shaken. On June 3, 2019, the court delivered its verdict. Warut Sachit was found guilty of masterminding the murders of Alan and Nod and was sentenced to death. His accomplices, Pia Kamai and Kapong Kaman, also received death sentences for their roles in the crime. Suma, who cooperated with authorities and testified against Warut, was sentenced to 25 years in prison, reduced from 50 years due to his cooperation. The courtroom erupted with mixed emotions. Alan's daughter expressed relief and gratitude for the verdict, stating that justice had been served, though the pain of losing her parents remained immeasurable. Members of the local community, still grappling with the shock of Warut's actions, expressed both anger and sadness at the outcome, reflecting on how a once respected member of their society could fall so far. The court's ruling sent a clear message. The brutal betrayal of trust and the heinous nature of the crime would not go unpunished. The trial brought closure to a harrowing chapter, but its echoes continued to resonate, serving as a somber reminder of the darkness that can exist within even the most familiar relationships. The murders of Alan Hogg and Nod Sudan left an indelible scar on their family, friends, and the local community. Alan's daughter, who had flown in from the UK to assist with the investigation and attend the trial, expressed profound grief at the loss of her parents. While the court's verdict offered a semblance of justice, it could never replace the presence of her father and stepmother. The family's once thriving farm in Frey Province, which symbolized Alan and Nod's dreams, now stood as a haunting reminder of the tragedy. For the local community, the crime shattered their sense of security and trust. The revelation that Warut Sachit, a man they knew as kind, pious, and community-oriented, could commit such a heinous act against his own family left many residents grappling with betrayal and disbelief. The tranquil image of Frey Province, known for its peaceful rural charm, was irreparably tarnished. Neighbors who once trusted each other with unwavering confidence began to look at their surroundings with suspicion, a lingering shadow cast by the crime. Unquote. For Warut and his accomplices, life in prison became a stark and unyielding reality. Sentenced to death, they now face the grim routine of death row in Thailand, where appeals are possible but often drawn out over years. The public's reaction to the sentences was overwhelmingly supportive, viewing the punishment as fitting for the gravity of the crime. Inside prison, Warut faced isolation and exclusion, even from fellow inmates, many of whom were repelled by the nature of his betrayal. His accomplices, Pia Kamai and Kapong Kaman, were similarly ostracized. Reports suggest that Warut rarely spoke, his demeanor marked by resignation rather than remorse. Despite this, the question of his mental state and true motivations lingered among those who followed the case closely. Suma, the neighbor who cooperated with authorities and received a reduced sentence, faced a different kind of punishment. Though he avoided the death penalty, his role in facilitating the crime led to widespread condemnation. Within the community, he became a pariah, his reputation irreparably damaged. Despite the convictions, certain aspects of the case continued to intrigue and trouble the public. Questions linger about the extent of Warut's financial motivations and whether there were deeper, unspoken resentments that fueled his actions. Additionally, while the reenactment and confessions painted a clear picture of the crime, some believe there may be more to the story, perhaps others who were complicit or aware of Warut's intentions, but remained silent. The fate of the Hogg estate also raised questions. With Alan and Nod gone, their daughter inherited the property, but the tragedy left its future uncertain. Could the land, once a vibrant symbol of their dreams, ever be restored to its former purpose, or would it remain a chilling monument to the crime? Public discourse about familial loyalty, cultural dynamics, and the risks faced by expatriates in Thailand persisted long after the trial. For many, the case serves as a cautionary tale about the fragility of trust, the dangers of unchecked resentment, and the profound consequences of betrayal within families. Ultimately, while justice was served in the eyes of the law, the emotional and societal impacts of the murders continue to resonate, leaving behind unanswered questions and a haunting legacy. The brutal murders of Alan Hogg and Nad Sudan left a profound impact on Thai society and extended beyond the borders of Phrai province. At its core, the case highlighted the fragility of trust within familial relationships and the devastating consequences when that trust is violated. The crime, perpetrated by someone deeply embedded within the family and community, underscored the unsettling reality that betrayal often comes from those closest to us. On a societal level, the case raised questions about cultural integration and the challenges faced by expatriates living in Thailand. Alan, a British national, had embraced life in Thailand, working hard to integrate into his wife's community. Yet, his status as a foreigner with significant assets became both a symbol of his success and a potential vulnerability. The legal and cultural dynamics surrounding property ownership by foreigners in Thailand added a layer of complexity, as Alan had registered assets under his wife's family members, including Warut. This arrangement, while common among expatriates, demonstrated how cultural practices and legal systems can inadvertently create opportunities for exploitation and conflict. The case also brought attention to Thailand's justice system, which faced international scrutiny due to the high-profile nature of the victims. The swift and thorough investigation, followed by the decisive sentencing, showcased the country's ability to deliver justice, even under immense public and media pressure. However, it also sparked discussions about the broader societal issues of greed, familial disputes, and the potential for resentment within close communities. This crime serves as a stark reminder of the depths of human nature and the complexities of familial relationships. Warut's actions demonstrated how unchecked envy and resentment can fester into something dangerous when left unaddressed. His betrayal of his sister and brother-in-law was not just a crime against individuals, but a violation of the sacred bonds of family, a betrayal that reverberated through the community. From a broader perspective, the case highlighted the challenges law enforcement faces in dealing with cross-cultural crimes. The involvement of a British national in a Thai setting brought international attention and increased scrutiny, demanding meticulous investigation and a transparent judicial process. This case emphasized the importance of cross-border cooperation and cultural sensitivity when handling crimes involving expatriates, ensuring that justice is not only done, but seen to be done. On a personal level, the story reminds us of the hidden complexities within every family. The Hogg Sudan case forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about human nature, the capacity for greed, the destructive power of resentment, and the thin line between love and hatred. It serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of open communication, conflict resolution, and vigilance within relationships, especially when money and property are involved. Finally, the crime challenges us to reflect on the importance of community vigilance and the role of societal norms in preventing such tragedies. While the crime shocked the community, it also revealed gaps in awareness and intervention that might have prevented such an extreme outcome. The Hogg Sudan murders remain a poignant lesson in the necessity of fostering trust, understanding, and resilience in the face of human failings. The story of Alan Hogg and Nad Sudan is one of love, betrayal, and the dark shadows that sometimes lie hidden within even the closest of families. What began as a serene life in the tranquil countryside of Phrai province unraveled into a harrowing tale of greed and resentment. The meticulous investigation, driven by forensic breakthroughs and the courage of witnesses, brought justice to Alan and Nad, with the perpetrators receiving sentences that matched the gravity of their crimes. This case is more than a recounting of a brutal double murder. It's a reflection on the fragile threads of trust, the devastating impact of betrayal, and the complex interplay of cultural dynamics in an increasingly globalized world. It forced a community, and all of us, to confront uncomfortable truths about the human capacity for darkness, even in the most unexpected places. Justice was served, but the haunting question remains: can it ever fully compensate for the loss of life and the fracture of trust? The Hagsudan case leaves us pondering the depths of human nature and the societal structures that both protect and, at times, fail us. As we continue exploring stories like this, shedding light on the hidden corners of humanity, we invite you to join us on this journey. Subscribe to our channel and be part of a community that seeks not only to understand the darkest chapters of our world, but also to learn from them. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to ensure you never miss a single twist in the stories that reveal the very essence of human nature. Together, let's uncover the truth, one story at a time.